Hey team, Richard Tubb here. We're at Uptime Live in London, huge event for MSPs. We've got some of the most progressive managed service providers in the country, indeed in Europe, coming together under one roof. And one of the next generation of MSPs is Chris here. So tell us a little bit about your business.
So I work for a company called Storm Technologies. We are a value-added reseller at heart. I run the MSP side of the business, and we are a service provider, and our managed services is always an ever-changing, ever-evolving beast. We really want to make sure that we're providing the best service to our clients, whether they're part of the MSP side or whether they're part of just the value-added and other professional services side. So,
yeah. And tell us a little bit about your relationship with Uptime. So what type of, how long have you worked with them? What type of services do you take from them?
So we've worked with Uptime for a few years. We have been using them we've been working with them for out-of-hours support for quite a number of years. We did previously build an out-of-hours operation using our own staff in Hungary.
Okay.
It was a very expensive, very time-consuming thing to build.
I bet it was.
And ultimately, it was not bringing in the amount of revenue or value to the customers that we wanted it to.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, that did have to shut down. Very tough thing to build, very tough thing to shut down. And ultimately, we found that utilising our own staff for extended hours support, so up until midnight, was not giving us the sort of business that we wanted or providing the level of service to customers that they needed. So then we decided, we found Uptime, or we were introduced to Uptime through InBay, who obviously merged.
Yeah, got the merger.
And we found that they could do the 24/7 using ticket bundles, and that was a very easy way in to being able to provide something that we found very difficult over the previous years to our customers. So we've got quite a few customers using 24/7 at the minute, and we're also recently moving some of our customers over to the Uptime Unlimited.
Yes.
And what we're finding is that is reducing some of the noise on the service desk. It's allowing us to provide quality service to our customers while we're bringing on additional business and making sure that we provide that stable level of support. And that's really where we've been trying to use Uptime, whether it was through the ticket bundle, which we also used for overflow. So if we were busy, it might be Uptime.
Yeah, allows you to stretch. Yeah,
exactly. So now that we're onboarding more customers and we're able to provide that stable service to our existing customer base, we hope to see fewer complaints from customers, less churn, better retention of our business, and to ultimately do what I really care about and provide a good service and a stable service to our customers.
And that seems to be at the core of what these next-gen MSPs are talking about, like yourself. It's the freeing up the time from the day-to-day the stuff that's necessary, but can be time-consuming and a bit of a hassle, and then energy drain, and that frees up your time to focus on the customer service aspect. And over-delivering are making the customer feel absolutely great. So how has that worked out in practice for you? What's the feedback from clients been like?
So at the moment, we're very early in our onboarding. We've got a few customers on Uptime, including some of our very, very long-standing customers, which and the feedback from them, we trust them. The feedback from them has been that the service delivery, they haven't noticed the difference.
Sure.
Yeah. They've been very responsive. Uptime have been very responsive on the front end, on the first line, second line, third line, and they've been very much providing the service that we've always aspired to provide. But the feedback from the team that we have is that they are able to now focus better on the projects that we've got, and deliver those projects in a better time frame. Now, obviously, with a managed services customer, if you are taking people away from a project to provide a service, it's always been about finding that balance and trying to make sure that you don't underperform in one area. And no matter what you do, you will find that you are underperforming in one area. So we are now seeing that we are able to overperform in areas where we've been maybe not as focused.
Got it.
And that's been really helpful.
To give some context, so where's your business based? What type of clients you support? How many people within your MSP, within your reseller?
So we're based in Watford.
Yep.
So we are a value-added reseller. We're between 180 and 200 staff in the reseller business. Within the managed services service desks, we have roughly 15 staff, including management and techs. plus obviously we've got all of the pre-sales and extended professional services arms and things like that. So from all industries, and we have found that we've serviced a lot of schools, a lot of nurseries, and a lot of financial institutions as well. And those are sort of what I see as being the two ends of the spectrum.
Yes.
But we do everything in between. And this is the thing, is that what we have always tried to do is not try and service everybody, because as a value-added reseller, a lot of our customers cover any sort of any vertical, and they will often come to us for managed services. So we need to be able to facilitate our wider business.
Yeah.
But we have tried to build structure and processes to enable us to take on, what does this customer do?
Yeah.
And how can we make sure that we are facilitating their business needs as much as we can.
Yeah, and I'm intrigued. So obviously you've been on this journey with Uptime last couple of years. You brought across some of your clients. You're expanding the relationship with them. What would you say to any MSPs, any value-added resellers who perhaps are like making an assumption, my clients would never go for this. We couldn't possibly, as an outsourcer, outsource somewhere else. What would you say to them about what your experience has been? Okay, so we had that feeling as well. When we initially introduced Uptime as a concept to some of our customers, there was some negative feedback. Internally, there was some negative feedback. People like to have that touch point of, and this was the feedback that we got, is that everybody knew our staff. All of our customers knew our staff. They knew that they pick up the phone and they get through to whoever it was, and they would get their issue sorted. And that's great feedback for us to have. But we were able to combat that with the way that Uptime does things. The way that Uptime does things is very, very similar to us. And we were designated a pod in our overflow, our ticket bundle, whatever we want to call it, and that pod is a number of six people, six individuals. So we know that again that customer is only going to be serviced by 6 people in the UK hours, and they're still going to get that familiarity, that trust. That we've sort of helped to build over the however many years we've been working with that client. It's like an extension of your team, isn't it?
It's an extension of our team, yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. Wow, thank you for joining us here at Uptime today. What a great event as well. It's all happening. And for you as an Uptime partner as well, I guess it must be good to spend time with other Uptime partners and see what other people are doing in the industry.
Yeah, that's right. It's been really helpful to go to the talks, to find out a bit more about what other people are doing. So we've seen a couple of other MSPs, we've seen a couple of providers, and we're finding out that what we're doing and the way that we're attacking some of our problems isn't actually unique. And it's quite validating to hear that we are approaching things in the right way, and that we have seen other people who are further on in their journey. They have had better success than we could hope for, which means that we know that there is a good path forward for us following the same sort of model.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, clearly one of the most successful next generation resellers, MSPs, but just off camera, you can probably hear we've got an air hockey table. Do you think you can beat me at that?
I hope so.
We'll find out next.